What a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
Welcome back.
To be back.
Yeah.
You've been here before.
But of course, you said that 2009 was going to be easy and relaxing, and you were going to go home, you were going to chill, maybe do a bit of a greatest hits album. What happened?
I lied. Boy lied, he lied. We started to do a greatest hits, actually, fulfilling a commitment based on what you came out of with Lost Highway there. You know, we went down to our record company after all these years and said we were going to Nashville to make a record. And when they stopped crying, you know, because here we were they thought we were gonna go country. They said, okay, but before we lose all that money, can you promise us greatest hits? I said, of course. We started to write a couple songs for greatest hits, but then the world changed last October. As we all know, the economies of the world changed. President Obama being elected changed forever the way American politics are looked at. So we started to write what became a studio record. When we went to the company where the good news and the bad news was they got us a record, but they didn't get their greatest hits. You know, and then here we are again, because it's such a timely manner these songs fit in.
And you've kind of gone back to the old sound, haven't you? The last album was quite country, and this time it seems you've gone back to the sort of, I mean, you've always been rockers, but it's kind of gone back to that sort of original sound we know you.
Well, sure.
Yeah, you know, I think doing the Nashville record, you know, we had anytime you're a band for like 25 years, when the door to evolution actually opens, you have to step through it. And on Have a Nice Day, Who Said You Can't Go Home became the first #1 song by a rock and roll band in history on the country charts for 2 weeks. So that was the advent of the Nashville record. And that became a beautiful experiment that was #1 in 17 countries, and we had the biggest tour of our career, and actually the biggest tour in the world 2 years ago. Created a vacuum.
It's a tricky question, and it's probably not something that's got anything to do with you, but, you know, on the sort of theme of the sort of common man, there's a lot in the newspaper saying that the tickets for the concert here were very expensive.
Ours here?
Yeah.
Were they?
Yeah, apparently. Now, this is in the newspaper, so we don't know how, you know, don't know whether this...
Right, which papers right now?
Well, you know,
right.
But is that something that is in your control? Do you know anything about that?
To be honest with you, I don't know the price of the ticket, but you know, I'll have to accept some of the blame for that, sure, if that's the case. But I don't know that they were richly priced or not. I'll have to look into it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And if they are, I'll say something about it. Because, yeah, I am in control of, you know, those things, though I'm not as in control as I should be right now.
So the Circle Tour, you're going to spend 2 years spanning the globe. I mean,
why do you have to remind me about that?
I know, but this is what I wanted to ask you. 2 years, I mean, that is a long time. At this moment in time, do you kind of go, what am I doing?
A little bit. But that's why we're doing a residence at the O2, for instance. So we move in for 6 weeks, and we'll be out here outside your window in the morning.
Well, you know where the coffee is. You can always come in.
If you get a free cup of coffee here.
Touring for you guys, you've been together for probably, what, half your lives?
Sure, right. More time together than apart.
Yeah. So you've getting more mature together as a band, and that, of course, changes with families and things. I mean, is the whole family come with you? Because what have you got? 3, 4 children?
4.
John? Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe in the summer months they will. But you can't do that if you're packing and unpacking every night.
So they wave you off on the door and say goodbye. We'll see you in 2 years' time.
Right.
And then Dorothea goes, Scott shot at him.
You know, but yeah, it's harder and harder to tour, to do extensive tours.
And you must be pretty good at it by now. I mean, you've been doing it a long time. Are there ever times when you still get fed up with each other, or do you kind of know how to play it? Do you kind of know, right, we have our time on stage and then we'll separate and have a bit of downtime? Or
I think that, you know, part of the thing with any relationship, and obviously this is like a sexless marriage or something like that, we like to say, but know when to, you know, be a shoulder, and also know when to give each other space. You know, I mean, after all these years, there's like not much we don't know about each other. I mean, you know, like John says, we spend more time together than we spend apart, and more time together than we spend with our families, you know, mostly too.
Well, you went through, very sort of publicly went through the stage where you guys weren't getting on, and there was an issue within the band, and I think you've said, once again, I'm taking this as a quote from somewhere, you know, they hated me and I hated them. Is that something that you actually said?
Well, that's an exaggeration. Like, we never were in one of those, okay, we broke up, or there would be nothing like that, but you could wake up in the morning and be cranky. But we never were ever at that point of we're breaking up or I hate him. There was never any of that. There was never a day where we weren't in the same dressing room or in the same car on the way to the venues. There's never any of that. Never was any of that.
And in the documentary, which is out very soon,
23rd of November,
When We Were Beautiful. Back in the 90s, did you hire a rock therapist? I think that was in the documentary. What is a rock therapist?
There's
a guy called Luke.
I don't know if we'd call him a rock therapist.
Yeah, right. Again, you wouldn't. Yeah.
He was a guy that would come into like these almost corporate situations and actually help the corporations actually get along and do all that kind of stuff. But he also worked for Aerosmith and some people, and John was savvy enough actually to say, hey, we need to communicate, because what happened was after 3 years of 2 back-to-back 16.5-month tours and riding the rocket ship to stardom, I mean, we came from nothing to Slippery When Wet in New Jersey, which sold 36 million records, and we toured for better part of 3.5 years. We were basically exhausted and burnt out more than anything else, and then we just needed to actually just communicate.
So what does he do? What is the role of this guy?
Real simple, without boring anyone watching. He had no other interest than to hear what your side of the story was. He wasn't getting paid. He wasn't a manager. He wasn't an agent. He wasn't a lawyer. He'd come in and mediate. He'd just go, boy, that sounded pretty daft, and now tell your side of the story. And you tell the whole truth and nothing but the truth, because he wasn't on your side or his side or anyone's side.
That's so disappointing. I'm imagining this guy in full-on spandex.
Dude,
coming in with like a medicine pen.
You've heard the other stories where now the guy turns into wanting to collaborate on your songs, you know, the Beach Boys story and the Metallica.
Yes.
No, there was none of that. There was none.
But he did it for free.
No, he got whatever his paycheck was, a salary or whatever.
But no other
involvement.
Not a part of our
No, he didn't
pie.
show up, trying to write songs like you've heard with the Beach Boys.
And so once he left, what sort of state did he leave you guys in when he gone?
We wrote "Keep the Faith" and continued down the road.
Yeah, so 10 million records.
I'll tell you a cute anecdote about "Keep the Faith." Without we were coming back out of the fog, right? And we were making the record, and Richie says, but we've got to get back to the basics. I mean really like a garage band when we were kids. You want posters on the wall and black lights in the room and candles lit like it was in the basement. I said, okay. We went into my new house, and we're in the basement and light all these candles, put up these posters. I go to the store and buy all this crap. We're writing, and I pull out the notebook and I started playing these songs. And I'm getting really lethargic, and I'm thinking, I hate this. I'm so bored. I'm ready to fall asleep. I realize there's no oxygen in the room from all the damn candles. I pull out the candles, I open the windows, I turn on the lights, I go, that's it. It's enough of this. We're going back to work.
Guys, it's a real pleasure to have you here. You're gonna play for us, which we can't wait for.
We'll light some candles.
Yeah, light some candles.
So you guys can fall asleep too. Yeah.
Shut the doors and light the candles. The album, The Circle, is out now. The single, We Weren't Born to Follow, was out last Monday, and the documentary, as Holly said, that's about on the sort of 23rd of November, and we'll look forward to the tour. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.